What type of property is suitable for supported living? The short answer to that question is pretty much all properties. The location of the property is important. If the property is in an area where there is a high amount of antisocial behaviour or drug dealing or street violence, then the housing benefit officers are probably not going to be comfortable housing people with support needs in that type of area. Similarly, if there is a high acuity care required for the tenant, if they need to have, say, 24-hour care, and there will be care providers coming and going, they may want a provision for parking. If you are providing care for children in care, then the expectation is that there would be a decent amenity space for the children, a garden for the children to play in. It is very much, though, related on the tenant. This is all very tenant-centric decisions that are being made here. The type of house is very dependent on the tenant and the care that that tenant requires. You'll hear quite a lot that one-bedroom flats are popular for provision of supported living. Now, the reason that one-bedroom flats are popular is that it enables a care provider. Remember, supported living is about the separation of housing provision and care provision. So a care provider comes separately to the home of the supported living tenant. So if that care provider can provide the level of care and oversight for, let's say, half a dozen supported living tenants in a single visit, because half a dozen of them are living in a single block of flats, then that's simpler for them. They're not having to jump in the car. They can provide a decent level of care to more people in a smaller amount of time, rather than having 6 individuals scattered around town. One-bedroom flats and blocks of flats, it's important to note that we're not looking at building 20, 30, 40 room blocks of one-bedroom apartments here. Because, to be honest, all you're then doing is you're rebuilding a care home, and that's not really the point. The point here is about people occupying flats that are part of the community and are seen to be part of the community, rather than seen to be a pseudo care home. What other types of homes are suitable for supported living? Again, pretty much every single type. Personally, I have a 2 town terrace that I have leased out to a care provider, and they have that on a lease to provide care for care leavers. There's 2 care leavers living in that one building. There's no adaptation to the building required. There's no license required. It's 2 people living in that building, and care is provided to them by that care provider who visits them very regularly. We similarly, within the supported living gateway, we've organised leases for some of our property investor clients for all sorts of types of houses. We've had blocks of one-bedroom flats. We've had large detached buildings. Large detached building, which works quite well for somebody who has some very high demand needs. There's a chap who had quite severe autism and needed round-the-clock care. So actually, he needed quite a large house for the care leavers to be able to live there and operate there. Because it was getting round-the-clock care, it wasn't just having a bedroom for him, it was having bedroom and amenity space for the care providers as well. We've similarly had HMOs that we've arranged leases on for people, and HMOs work quite well for lots of different supported living tenants. It could be people who have learning disabilities. It could be people who, again, are care leavers. It could be mothers with young mothers with babies, so teenage mothers who maybe need a little bit of kind of move on care. That's short-term type of care. Those could work quite well in HMOs as well. Every single type of property is viable for supported living. It's really all about what the care requirements are for that tenant who is in that property.